Comic Timing is proudly sponsored by the New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con is bigger, better, and has double the space with more gaming and anime for 2007. Come to the Jacob Javits Center February 23rd to 25th and experience the biggest pop culture event in New York City, featuring comics, anime, manga, graphic novels, video games, trading card games, RPGs, MMOs, toys, movies, TV, celebrities, and more. Guest of honors include Stan Lee, Jeff Smith, J. Michael Straczynski, and George Perez, with many more to be announced. For a complete list of guests as well as show information, please visit nycomiccon.com. Buy your tickets online now to ensure your spot for the 2007 show. Tickets are available now at a discounted rate for advanced purchase at nycomiccon.com. You can also book your travel arrangements online now on the travel page of the website. Don't miss out on the 2007 New York Comic Con. Visit our website to get all the information you need.
Comic Timing is a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Welcome to episode 28 of Comic Timing, a comics podcast devoted to the average comic book fan from the average comic book fan. Join in as a rotating panel of guests and myself, Ian Levinstein, discuss whatever comes to mind, time after time, here on Comic Timing. It's time for the year-end wrap-up, and to start, John, Brent, and I go over Marvel Comics and what it brought to the table in 2006. We go to the good, the bad, and the in-between. Also a warning that this episode is pretty raw, as I'm releasing it without very little edits at all. But I guess you can call it a holiday special in that fact. And happy holidays to everyone out there. Here now, Comic Timing. Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 28, finally, of Comic Timing. The last episode didn't happen, and here's the story behind that. And Brent Cassina, who's joining me this time, Nightwing BK on the forums, can help me on telling this story. So, Brent, what happened last week?
We had an hour-and-a-half discussion on JSA number 1, and you lost it.
No, I didn't lose it. Hot Recorder lost it. That's the thing. That's the thing. It wasn't me, okay?
Yeah, but it's your computer.
Oh, you bastard. You fucking bastard.
You're the producer. It's your responsibility.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
That other voice on the line is none other than John Mayo of the Mayo Report. John, what's up?
Oh, not too much. Not too much.
Glad to have you on, buddy. And we're doing a Marvel wrap-up this week, so maybe we'll get together and do the JSA thing one of these days. But like I said, it's lost into the internet. The same with that Little Witch episode, and the same with that, I'm not going to say his name, because the last time I said his name, I lost an hour-and-a-half episode. So you all know who I'm talking about there. But anyway, let's get going here. We're talking about Marvel, year-end wrap-up. Here's exactly what we're talking about. The first of our year-end wrap-up episodes begins with Marvel. It has been quite the year for the Merry Marvel Entertainment Group. Plenty of new comics, movies, animated features, and video games to get everybody excited. Still, every success story has a sore spot, and we hope to cover it all here. What was your favorite Marvel moment of 2006? What would you like to have seen turn out differently? What new titles rocked your world, and which ones fell flat? Has Civil War proven to be as effective as it was hoped for the Marvel branch in 2006? And finally, what 2006 titles left you anticipating 2007 the most and the least? Let it be heard, let it be broadcast. Post your comments on the forums and enjoy, and we'll read the forum comments later. But we'll start it off with Brent first, and we'll start it off with Best Series of 2006 coming out. And this could be a brand new series, or it could be an ongoing. That's completely up to you. But what was your favorite series out of Marvel in 2006?
That would probably have to be Civil War Frontline.
Okay.
Just because, like, as an ancillary title, I wasn't expecting that much, but, like, the first 3 issues of that are fantastic.
Okay. So this is withstanding the fact that there are major inconsistencies between Civil War and Frontline?
Yeah, well, it's like separate storylines, and then it's on top of that, it's well written, so you're getting more of the story, even, despite the Civil War thing, the death of Goliath. Mm-hmm. Despite that, it's still a fantastic book, and it's still one of my favorites.
What about you, John? I mean, are you enjoying Frontline at all, or?
I'm enjoying it. I'm not sure I'd say it was my favorite Marvel title of the year. I'd probably put it behind Civil War, actually, for myself. Not that was my favorite title either. I'd be, I'm not sure what I would say was my favorite title this year from Marvel. They've had a lot of really good stuff come out.
Well, you know what my favorite was?
No, I don't. Please tell me.
Ultimate Hulk and Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The whole one issue we saw this year was really terrific. I'm being very sarcastic. No, my favorite ongoing out of Marvel is actually a new ongoing, and it has to be X Factor.
X Factor is a very good title. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's not reading it. It's great stuff.
It leaves right off where Madrox's miniseries left off, and it also pretty much left off where the original X Factor left off, because you got that same feel between the characters, even if they're not all the original characters from that X Factor. You got the basic team dynamic back, and you got Peter David back in the book that he basically pioneered and gave its feel. And I'm glad to see that happening. And the art has been superb with every artist that they've had in the book. It's a consistent feel, even though they've had different artists. And how often do you see that?
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad to see Peter David having a regular, book and stuff, because he's an excellent writer, and he's not getting, enough titles these days.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And I mean, Friendly Neighborhood, and you've got, pretty much actually when I think about it, in Marvel you've got two. And you have, random what-if titles here and there that he did, but you've got Friendly Neighborhood and you've got X Factor. And then other than that, Fallen Angel for IDW. And I can't think of anything else that he's really doing regularly, unless I'm missing one. But, I mean, he's a guy who used to do about 4 or 5 books regularly on a regular basis, and I guess he's cutting down a little bit. But every book he's been doing has been fantastic.
I mean, he's doing a lot of novels and stuff like that, too, but the impression I've gotten is he's just not getting the opportunities to do new titles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
More so over at DC than Marvel. Marvel, I think, sees talent and knows what to do with it more in this case.
Now, Brent, you reading X Factor?
No.
You should be reading X Factor, I must say.
I'm sorry, I'm not much of an X-Men fan.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's barely even an X book. So I want you to
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, no, seriously. I want you to take the idea out of your head that it's even an X book, because it's really not. It's more of I guess, sort of like a detective agency book, mixed in with a little bit of the mutant stuff going on, but it's really not that much of an X book. So if you're not a fan of the X titles, you probably would still be a fan of X Factor.
Yeah, see, I have like Fables and Why the Last Man and Ex Machina, all those things that I should be reading that I'm not to get to first.
So, you should be reading Ex Machina and Fables and Why the Last
Man. But I'm not.
But you're not.
So which one should I do?
All of them.
Yes, exactly. We know that you're a college student, all right? I shouldn't be reading all the books that I'm reading, and yet I'm still doing it. Come on, spend your money like you shouldn't. Come on, go ahead. Be homeless. Who cares? You're reading comics. But no. In all seriousness, though, I can understand why you're not reading it. I mean, come on, it's a lot of money to spend. But, John, in all the time I've been ranting, did you possibly come up with a title that might be your favorite?
No, actually. I mean, Astonishing X-Men's really good stuff. I've been enjoying a lot of what's going on in Thunderbolts. I think some of what's going on over in the new Excalibur is interesting. I totally agree with you that X Factor is a very well done book. But a single title that I would just say is so far above the rest or whatever that it's my absolute favorite Marvel title. No, I can't come up with anything.
Onslaught Reborn.
Okay, I stand corrected. No, I'm kidding.
I had to throw that in there. And I'm not bashing Liefeld. I'm not. I just made a joke. That's all right? I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. It's not going to happen this issue. Not this episode. It's not going to happen, all right? I swear to God. Maybe just a little. But we've got we've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about as well. Like, specifically, we just talked about our favorites. How about our least favorite? What was the biggest disappointment out of Marvel this year? And we could put in there late books. We could put in anything you want. But more specifically, a series that you were looking forward to that didn't really live up to the hype. What would you maybe put out there, Brent?
You know what? Probably the Hulk and Wolverine thing, because I really like that.
Okay. Now, did you enjoy the issues that did come out, in all seriousness?
Yeah, I did, actually. I thought the first issue was great, and then seeing the Hulk as like a pimp in Nepal or whatever in the second one, that was really cool too.
Now, only the second one came out in 2006, so we can't discuss the first one. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can't talk about ripped off torsos at all. So you just got to go with Pimp Hulk. But it did actually feel a lot like the Grey Hulk in that issue. So it reminded me a lot of when Hulk was at Vegas and all that other stuff going on. So I did enjoy that a lot, but I can understand why it was a disappointment to you because you didn't get any issues. You had that one issue. That's it. It's all over.
Yep. And I'll get to DC when we do that one, but for Marvel, that was it.
Any non-limited series that you can think of off the top of your head that were disappointments, or?
The Civil War delay was disappointing, but once we got there, it was kind of like, well, I can understand it now. Even though issue 4 wasn't like a great, fantastic issue, neither was 5.
Yeah. And now it's Strep Throat that delayed it 2 more weeks, so go figure on that.
Because Strep Throat has so much on your drawing.
Yes. Well, okay, no. Let's not trivialize the Strep Throat. It can actually, leave you in bed, which is hard to do. Like drawing while you're sick is probably not the best idea.
We'd have snot dots instead of curvy dots.
Exactly.
And that would just be wrong.
Exactly. Entirely. I 100% agree with that statement. But, John, your biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment, I'd actually probably go with Civil War. I think that was Marvel's biggest success and biggest failure this year.
Huh, really?
Yeah.
You being the numbers guy that you are, I'm a bit surprised by that, considering that, it's really done great numbers-wise for them.
Well, and that's, one of the areas I would say it was a huge success for. I mean, financially, it was a big windfall. But we're at the point right now where it should have been over and done with, and we still have, another 2-3 months, maybe 4 to go on it. They're doing some interesting stuff story-wise, but as a result of that one delay back in, August?
August, yeah.
We've seen slowdowns on every major title, or at least every major title that wasn't already slowed down.
Yeah.
I really don't think it caused any delays on Iron Man, for instance. So I was... and part of my disappointment there wasn't just the delay, having to wait for, all the other titles and stuff, but the reason for the delay, the way it was handled, and I don't want to be just another fanboy yammering or whatever, but
never, man, never.
I think Tom Brevoort, needs to be held accountable, because no matter how I look at it, no matter what the mistakes were, as editor of the title, the responsibility rests on his shoulder in some way, shape, or form.
Sure. Yeah. I agree with that actually a lot, to tell you the truth, because, I mean, when you're editor, you got to keep things wrangled. And the fact that even with all this, about 2 weeks before the delays were happening, we didn't get anything.
Well,
even though
worse than that, figure it takes a couple of weeks for the thing to get printed. Okay. Yeah. This was released on the 14th or so of August.
Yeah.
Go back 3 to 4 weeks, and suddenly you're at San Diego for the convention, you're at Chicago for the convention. At both of those conventions, these guys were saying everything was going along great, things were going to be on time, and by this point, they should have known better.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they
were praising them. They were praising them.
It's not that they said nothing. It's that they said it was going fine.
Yeah.
So, better than saying anything, they lied, pretty much.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, was Quesada's appearance on the Colbert Report before or after the? It
was after.
Okay, so that was after the delays were announced.
No, I thought it was.
It was
early.
No,
in
I'm
the
mistaken.
series.
It was before.
Okay,
long before.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I'm thinking possibly even then they might have known about these delays, because they wanted that appearance to, let everybody who possibly had not been collecting comics for ages know that they should be picking this up. So that might be very well one of the reasons why they kept things quiet, because of how much media coverage they were getting on this. They want to make things look positive, and obviously you're not going to get that if your book is so damn late.
Well, I think the timing on that is a little off, because I thought the appearance was after number 1 came out, but before number 2 came out.
Okay.
So long before...
No, I think it was after 2. It might have been after 2 or 3, actually.
I think it was actually after 2.
Okay, I may be wrong then.
It was in like late July or early August, I think.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, by that point, they should have expected the delay. They may not have actually known it was gonna happen, but they should have had the idea, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually that is my biggest disappointment. It's not even just the Civil War delays, but delays in general on some of their biggest titles have really pissed me off this year. Specifically, I mean, not just to harp on, Ultimate Hulk and Wolverine. I'm not going to, because that was something I was looking forward to, but more specifically stuff like even Amazing Spider-Man had some delays thrown in there because of Civil War. You had Civil War itself delayed. You had, if I remember correctly, House of M had a couple small delays here and there, where it was delayed at least 1 or 2 weeks when that was being released, and really it just threw off the timing of the entire branch. And
if we go to Amazing Spider-Man for a minute, I mean, it came out monthly like clockwork or whatever for the first 7 months of the year, then bam, we hit that delay, and it's gone essentially bi-monthly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's just wrong.
Well, even with 526, they could have waited another month, since half the issue doesn't take place until the future.
Yeah, and I brought that up actually when I was on Bullpen Bulletins. I brought that up thinking that, it's a good idea to print it, but at the same time, when you tell somebody to read a title that's not even out yet, what the hell are you doing?
Well, yeah, like it had the Iron Man and Spider-Man fight for like the first 7 pages or whatever, but the rest of that was non-necessary to Civil War 5.
Yeah, and you had huge hype as well on books like Punisher War Journal and even Mighty Avengers. Because Mighty Avengers has been hyped for months and months and months now, because they revealed that Mighty Avengers was going to happen after like issue 2 of Civil War, and because of Civil War, we're not seeing this until like midway next year.
Yeah, it's like March, isn't it?
Yeah.
Delayed till March.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was originally going to come out in, if I remember correctly, it was going to come out, actually, would have been out like right now.
And New Avengers, too, got delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't reveal the new roster until Civil War ends.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I am glad that they did throw in some extra issues of New Avengers, like, as opposed to just straight on delaying it. They actually put a couple filler issues in there, which was kind of cool. But still, the fact that they even had to turn to filler issues kind of annoys me on that. But, that's what life is with delays. You got to deal with that. But
well, there's just one. Are you talking about the Scarlet Witch one that just came out?
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened. That issue would not have come out. But you still had to deal with the delays of, I think it was about a 2-week delay on one of the, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this, on one of the New Avengers issues because of Civil War's delay.
I think the Sentry one took longer to come out.
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. That was the one, actually, because of the Inhumans being a part of that. I guess they wanted to keep things quiet. But you had Wolverine running regularly, which I was glad to see.
Yeah.
But, some of those major books that were so key in Civil War you didn't get. But also, the Iron Man delay is quite possibly the worst delay you had out of any of the titles. And I'll explain that to you, at least my take on that here, mainly because the fact that you're supposed to get Iron Man's side. You're supposed to get his take on Civil War. You're supposed to get the pro-Reg side. And when Iron Man is so delayed where you're not getting his first issue in Civil War until issue 4 is out, everybody's mind's made up already. There's no way you're going to be able to make that any better by releasing Iron Man's title. And because of the delays that happened in Warren Ellis's run, frickin' Warren Ellis's run, that's been over for ages now, and they still haven't corrected things. That's just terribly, terribly planned right there.
Well, Warren Ellis was going to write 6 issues, and they hired the Knopf brothers. So the Knopf brothers wrote their first arc.
Yeah.
And then Warren Ellis's run got delayed so much that they had to off-put that. So by the time they got to that, Nick Fury was out of the Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. So that's why that's been delayed so much, because they're still having to put out their first arc.
Yeah.
Which wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but at the same time, it didn't flow at all. Because, well, we've seen Iron Man like this for a while. So what I think they should have done, what I'm talking about is with the whole extra, what the hell is it called? The thing that's bonded to him now?
Oh, Extremis.
Extremis, there you go, yeah. Extremis has been displayed in New Avengers and all that. And then you've got this. So what they really should have done in my mind is release that run that was going to happen in Iron Man as a limited series. That way you're not delaying Iron Man itself when Civil War comes around.
Or they just could have... Do you think they would have put it out as like a trade just to begin with? To call it like an original graphic novel or not?
Not as a trade. They would have done it as a miniseries and then gone to trade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and miniseries would have worked for that. Because, worst comes to worst, you do 1 or 2 filler issues on that, and then you get yourself the Civil War.
Well,
because they could have been ready early.
What's interesting is they did have an Iron Man miniseries running for a while this year. Mm-hmm. They had Iron Man The Inevitable or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, they should have delayed that, put that later on the schedule, and replaced it with something that would have synced up Iron Man to where it needed to be, prior to Civil War.
Yeah. Well,
or just not have been late to begin with.
Sure, of course. But, I mean, again, we can't really stop something like that from happening. What we can do is adjust the book itself so that the lateness isn't nearly as noticeable. But they didn't do that. They just put it out as is, which is really poor marketing on their part. And I wouldn't be surprised if Iron Man suffered a little bit. I mean, you're the numbers man, John. I mean, how have the numbers been on Iron Man?
Actually, I don't have that database up right now. Hang on, let me pull it up.
All right, cool. Well, while you get that, I'll ask a question here to Brent, actually. Have you gotten a chance to play any of the Marvel video games so far, the Ultimate Alliance or anything along those lines?
Not Ultimate Alliance, but I played Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay, and what do you think about that? Do you think that was a good direction for them to go in 2006, to actually go Ultimate as opposed to regular? Because most of their titles are taking place in the Ultimate Universe right now in video games. You don't really have any actual, Marvel Universe stuff going on, video game-wise.
Well, is Ultimate Alliance in the Ultimate Universe? It seems like it's in between.
It kind of is. But I'd like to see something actually ironed out, but there really wouldn't. But because it's Ultimate Alliance, right away people say, oh, it's an Ultimate title.
Well, I was thinking Ultimate Alliance was just the ultimate part of that was just the title of it, not specifically the universe.
Well,
so with the costumes, they have the Ultimate costumes, but even with X-Men Legends 2, they have Ultimate costumes in there.
Yeah.
But it's more mainstream Marvel Universe than it is Ultimate.
And that's even up to debate as well, because they had their Ultimate X-Men uniforms, a lot of people say that was just an Ultimate X-Men title, but, I mean, pretty much just playing out in video game form. But they specifically did that with Ultimate Spider-Man. And I like that idea, and I think that's something I would like to see more of in 2007. Actual comic books being played out in the world of video games, as opposed to just being a separate video game.
Yeah, I liked it, but I hadn't read Ultimate Spider-Man up to that point where it took place. I read the Venom story arc, and I heard this, so I read that, or I played the game, but I don't think it's synced up yet with the title at all, has it? Have they referenced anything in it?
They referenced actually Shocker's appearance. Shocker's appearance was referenced in the actual Ultimate Spider-Man book, but that's really the only reference that you've seen, because that was the first time he actually met Shocker, if I remember correctly.
He was in the second arc. He was in the Kingpin arc, actually.
I was? Okay, all right. My mistake. But they did reference, though, if I remember correctly, they did reference him actually bumping into him again in the Ultimate books, but I could be entirely wrong here. But it would be nice to see more of that referencing, because they said it was going to. They really haven't yet, but
aside from the storyline part, the actual story of the game was great, and the gameplay and the graphics I thought were outstanding.
Yeah. From what you've seen of Ultimate Alliance, obviously you haven't played it yet. Neither have I, to tell you the truth. But I mean, from what you've seen of it, does it seem like the sort of direction that Marvel should be going with their video games?
Well, if it plays anything like Ultimate X-Men 2, which I have and I've played and I love, then I think it is I think that's a good direction for any superhero game. Mm-hmm. I think that's where they failed in the past. The Batman games are just Batman swinging around. The Batman Begins video game, I know it's not DC, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't fantastic either. Yep. But when you have these big teams, you can pretty much pull any story out as whatever you want, and I think it opens everything up to a much wider scope that you don't have to narrow yourself down as much with having to create an interesting gameplay mechanic for one character when you have 20 of them. But that may be the cheap way out, too.
Well, sure, yeah, but they're definitely doing better than they actually were doing in the past, though, with these video games. Because, like you said, I mean, come on, think of the days when Maximum Carnage for the Genesis and the SNES, those were not good. I mean, they were good for the time, but not really what you wanted out of a game that was a Marvel comics game.
Well, any game that came out for the Genesis and stuff was a beat 'em up, Double Dragon, which was the Spider-Man Carnage, and then you had the Spider-Man one before that, which was pretty basic. Mm-hmm. You just swung around. I think it was jump, climb on walls, web swing, and kick. So it was still a beat 'em up thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't near anything like what we had for the Spider-Man movies, or even the first Spider-Man video game that they had for like PlayStation.
Yeah, for PS1. Yeah,
Did you play that one?
I did. I own it. I love it. It's a great game.
Yeah, I like that one too. So I mean,
My favorite one of the
they
bunch.
keep
to tell you
doing.
the truth.
If they keep doing Spider-Man games like that, then I think they're going in the right direction. But if they want to keep doing like the big games with the X-Men and the Avengers, I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah, John.
But they do have to find something interesting though, because like if they're just doing the same beat 'em up style all the time, we're gonna get bored.
Okay, so 2006 for video games, not too shabby.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, John, actually, I'll ask you two things. You got those numbers on the Iron Man, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. How's it doing?
Well, it started the year, let's see, Iron Man with issue number 5 at about 45,200. Dropped with the next issue to 40,300. Bounced up with number 7, which I guess was the start of the second story arc for that title, to 49,400. Then dropped to number 8 to 38,800. Number 9 dropped down to 37,700. 10 bounced up just a little to 38,100. 11 down to 37,200. 12 down to 36,300. 13, which of course Civil War tie-in, shoots through the roof to 76,800.
Oh my God!
Now, for comparison, the other title, Iron Man: The Inevitable, looking again only at the 2006 issues, number 2 was at 25,400. It dropped on number 3 to 23,000. Number 4 was down to 21,400. Number 5 down to 20,300. And the final issue, number 6, to 19,700.
Okay.
So, I mean, not much interest in the mini-series, whereas if they had, had it be essentially the Civil War tie-in issues, they could have seen, probably 3 times those numbers.
Now, does it compare well to previous Civil War jumps when you go from that what was it, 30,000 to 70,000? You said, right, or something
like Miss Marvel?
Yeah, we were seeing in some cases like Miss Marvel, like Thunderbolts, and a few of the others, where titles would easily double in sales. I think there might have been one case where it almost tripled or something, but I'd have to go dig around on all those to recall.
Okay, so decent jump, but probably could have been better had they started earlier.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, they've only had one issue that had that jump, whereas other titles have already had, 3 or 4 with that kind of, raised numbers.
Okay, that works. John, have you played any of the video games, by the way? The video games that came out in 2006, which obviously would be Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Alliance, that sort of stuff?
No. I've got a copy of X-Men Legends that is on loan from 80s Junkie on the forum.
Gotcha.
But I haven't had a chance to play that yet.
That's the first one, right? That's not X-Men Legends 2?
Actually, I'm not sure which one it is off the top of my head. I haven't had a chance to pop it in and play it. I'm looking forward to it, though, because I got the big screen, so...
Well, ooh la la. Well, from what you've seen though out of the video games, I mean, obviously from the solicits and that sort of stuff that came out, I mean, do you feel they're going in the right direction for that as well? Because they've got a whole bunch of different medias that they're going into in 2006, and that video game is certainly one of them.
Well, I mean, if they can, leverage their properties into, very popular video games and whatnot, get the royalties, get the licensing fees, etc. I'm not seeing a downside. If that means we get some really cool games to play too, that's great.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for the Ultimate Alliance. It looked fantastic. And if I were more of a gamer myself, I'd probably be picking a lot of these up.
Yeah. But you got too many comics to read, so...
Yeah.
All right. Favorite Marvel moment of 2006. Now, this could be a moment, obviously, this could be a moment in the comics, this could be an announcement, anything along those lines, but I'm thinking more along the lines of a book, but if you want it to be an announcement, you can certainly do that as well. But your favorite Marvel moment of 2006, John, what is it for you?
I hate questions like this.
Jesus. I'm putting you on the spot on every single one of these, aren't I?
Yeah.
I quit. It's all over. No more comic timing. I quit. It's done. DON done.
I don't know. I mean, there'd been a lot of really good stuff. I certainly think the most important moment was the revelation at the end of Civil War #2. It's also something I think was a very interesting choice, and not one that I would have made if I were the editor over there. But let's see where they go with that.
Spoilers. Spider-Man revealed himself.
I didn't want to go say that.
I said spoilers.
I know.
It's all good.
I know.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. Well, if you're not reading Civil War, you saying the word Civil War #2 should include them onto that anyway.
Well, or if they're not reading USA Today or any news outlet,
or the New York Times,
Wizard,
yeah,
then you're not a comic fan.
Yeah, exactly. Or Joe Schmo's comic book blog on joeschmo'scomicbookblog.com. I wonder if that actually exists, but
I can tell you one of the moments that really I thought was at the other end of the spectrum and a huge mistake, even bigger than the Spider-Man unmasking.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the tail end of Beyond #6.
Yeah.
And again, we're doing spoilers on this, so I can reveal what they did.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They killed off Gravity.
Yeah. Bastards.
I mean, it was a cool character. I loved the miniseries. And I think they just took the character and essentially, I don't want to say flushed it down the toilet or whatever, but because, they've got, his story is just beginning type crap. It's you killed him!
Well, I thought that was out of continuity anyway.
Nope.
I sure hope so, but I don't think it is. He was a character that I could have seen becoming kind of the next Spider-Man, in so much as Nova became the next Spider-Man kind of a thing. Teen character, up-and-coming hero, learning the ropes. They could have done a lot with this character, and I think they made some bad choices.
Well, they obviously made some bad choices in that series, because I'm looking at your numbers right here. I mean, come on. Issue 1, 35,700. Issue 5, 22,800. That's a drop-off, man. So, obviously, people weren't really liking the direction that this title was taking. And to kill off a character like that, you're not really going to please that many of the 20,000 some odd that stuck around.
Yeah, that is the upside. It's not like many people noticed that they killed off Gravity.
But still, it's Gravity. I mean, there are a lot of fans of Gravity out there, especially ones that frequent our forums at that the Comic Geek forums. But nevertheless, I think we are pretty much we're all the people out there. No, how could you possibly do that? And some people on Newsarama as well. But I mean, he's a great character, and the fact that you introduce a new character and you kill him off immediately really doesn't say a lot for the company. It doesn't really give me faith that when they introduce a new character, if he's going to mean anything.
Or that it's worth getting invested in the character.
Exactly, because they're always going to stick on their guns. If it's a character that's been around since the 70s, he's going to get dibs over a character that was introduced in 2003, unless he's really, 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 really popular.
Unless your name is Longshot.
Yeah.
But had they been treating him good overall in this series, or was the whole series bad for Gravity?
They had been.
He was treated with respect. I thought Dwayne McDuffie did a very good job in showing Gravity's being, a heroic character, arguably the most heroic out of the batch chosen. And that's why I was so surprised when the final issue came out, and it's like, oh well, he dies. I mean, he died heroically.
Yeah.
And again, I thought Dwayne McDuffie did a good job using the character, and I gotta wonder if this was, editorial mandate or whatever, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way.
It could have been, actually, because, numbers were low on Gravity series in the first place, but give him time to grow as a hero, I mean, give him time to actually exist before killing his ass off, because he'd only appeared in his own book, in Marvel Team Up, and then Beyond. That's it. Nowhere else. You don't put him in Spider-Man, which used to be the launching pad, mind you. Back in the day, you had a character show up in Spider-Man, and right away, he was a member of the universe.
Look at it long term, though. If you're Marvel, you've got a series like Gravity, which is well done, well received, but sold criminally poorly.
Yeah.
I mean, it launched it at about 20,300 copies. Second issue plummeted down to about 13,300.
Yeah.
Third goes down to 10,300. I mean, we're not even in the danger zone anymore. We're well below it, I think.
Sure.
Then
yeah.
4 goes to 9,400, and the final 5th issue sold 9,000 copies.
Well, then again, it wasn't advertised at all.
Oh, it flew so far under the radar it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
But now think about this though. You take this character, Kirkman uses him pretty well in the Marvel Team Up stuff. You let Dwayne McDuffie play with him over and beyond. Say you don't kill him, whatever. You now take this character, have him, in a few other places. Maybe a New Warriors kind of thing. Have him show up, a little with the Avengers, whatever.
Yeah.
Get it to where the character has a chance to build an audience, come back out. If you grow this character right, it has the potential of becoming, like I said, another Nova, another one that has a very strong and loyal following.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you've got people saying, oh gosh, where'd this character show up? Oh, he had his own miniseries. That's where he started. They can't find it. Prices go up. Oh wow, it's a hot comic. Gee, Marvel looks like geniuses for having taken the chance, etc. I mean,
sure.
It could be spun in such a manner that people kick themselves for not having picked up the miniseries. And then every time a new miniseries with a new character comes out, people are going to be thinking, this could be the next Gravity, kind of, If you take it along the lines of attempting to train readers to pick everything up.
Yeah. Well, just think of what would have happened had they just flat out, killed Nova after they introduced him. For one thing, you wouldn't have Annihilation right now. And for another thing, you wouldn't have the Nova, limited series or whatever it's going to be that's coming out now. It might even be a regular series, I'm not entirely certain, but you wouldn't have stuff like that. Characters are introduced for a reason, okay? To kill them off immediately afterwards, you're ruining the purpose of introducing them in the first place, and Marvel needs to learn that.
Yeah.
Do you think killing the character created more buzz about him, that if they do bring him back, maybe more people will pick it up?
No.
But that's not the way to go about things, even if that is the case.
I think they've got it to where there's now 9,000 people who bought the full Gravity series. You're thinking, what the hell was the point? They just killed him off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if they bring him back, people are all going to be thinking, well, what's the point? They just killed him off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have one word for you, Hawkeye. One of my worst moments of recent war, because this is technically 2005, right? Disassembled happened in 2005, right? Okay, just double checking there. But
it's 2005. I want to say 2004 to be more accurate.
That could be, yeah. But in recent years, one of the stupidest things I feel that Marvel's done in the past couple of years was killing off Hawkeye and then bringing him back 3 or 4 months later. It's just absolutely ridiculous to even bother killing off a character if you're planning on bringing him back. If you want a character's death to mean something. Don't plan immediately, we're going to kill him off to try and gain popularity. What sense does that make?
Yeah. But I think
None
a lot
whatsoever.
of mistakes were made during the Avengers Disassembled storyline.
I agree. But that's another story for another time. My best and worst moment of 2006 all happened in a matter of an issue. Best moment in Civil War #3, the reveal that, holy shit, Thor's back. That was a huge moment for me, and it made me antsy, like nobody's business, for Civil War #4. The worst moment is when we find out it was a frickin' clone. All right? Aren't we sick and tired of clones by now in the Marvel Universe? Haven't they played that out enough where, as opposed to bringing Thor back, sure, JMS had the Thor thing going in his own series, but it could have so easily been the real Thor in Civil War. But due to stupid office politics and having that series going, and obviously they must have already had a couple issues in the can that even, suggested it would be a clone, you don't get the real Thor in Civil War. You just get Clor.
Well, and what really is funny about that is at the minute Spider-Man found out it was a clone, he should have just smacked himself up the head and said, what were they thinking? And then go join Cap.
Yeah, it's like he said in New Avengers, I have clones. He knows what that's all about. It's
Exactly.
bad business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's over and done with that already. I mean, come on. If you want clones, just go into the Ultimate Universe. They're dealing with that right now.
That or have Spider-Man pick up a tuning fork and, check the cape and stuff, make sure, Thor's not wearing a symbiote or whatever,
Oh, my God. Let's not even get into that. But another one of my worst moments of 2006 would probably have to be the fact that House of M was completely swept under the rug. The Decimation was completely swept under the rug. For Civil War to happen, they just completely let the storyline go. And now in the mutant books, it's almost as if they have their numbers back. It feels like there's more and more mutants showing up in every single issue that comes out, when they had a good idea showing up for a while, but they're not really even referencing that anymore.
I would kind of disagree with that to an extent. I think what we're seeing with the X titles is not so much that there are more mutants, it's just that they've all, come over to the mansion for, a camp out or whatever,
Yeah.
So I think the fact that, House of M happened, that their numbers are down, has been very much in effect and very, played upon and stuff. We had the whole Sentinel Squad 1 series that played into that. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. There was one or two other things that I think, it was a major factor on. Yeah. So I don't think they've swept it under the rug. I certainly don't think it's in the limelight anymore. I would agree with that.
But when you're gonna have something that supposedly was going to mean so much in a universe, and they hype it to mean so much in a universe, and they just completely ignore it to go on to the next thing, they could have so easily actually worked in what they had originally laid out for this new big event. But they didn't. They absolutely didn't. Well, and they swept it into one of those series. I
think it is playing in a very interesting way. I mean, part of why most of the mutants are not taking a side on Civil War is they're kind of thumbing their nose at everyone else, saying, we go through this every day. What's the big deal? I mean, now it affects you. Oh, you're worried about it?
Yeah.
Fine, go deal with it on your own, is kind of the attitude the mutants seem to have. And, I kind of understand that.
I guess to an extent I can understand, but it still pisses me off when they do that, though. That they seem like something's going to mean something really, really huge, and it just does not deliver. And I'm hoping Civil War doesn't do that. I hope like a year from now, people are saying like, yeah, remember that Civil War? That was great. Hey, Iron Man, want to go out for dinner? Sure, Captain America. That was just
I'm going to say something that will shock you, and I'm going to say I hope Civil War does become that kind of a dud.
Really?
And the reason I say that is my fear is that it will not. It will have lasting repercussions, and those repercussions are going to be it the Registration Act stays in effect or whatever, but we're going to wind up with a fundamentally different Marvel Universe than we've had for years, and I don't like the direction it's heading.
Okay. I feel you. I feel what you're saying. I just don't agree with that. And I like the fact that they're trying something fundamentally different with the Marvel Universe. I like the fact that people are finally, on edge and something's actually happening in the universe as opposed to things just being, same old stories over and over again.
And I'm good with them being on edge and that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I kind of like my superheroes to, fight crime and, little things like that.
Yeah.
Hey, when was the last time we saw Spider-Man stop a mugger? It seems like it's a really rare occurrence these days.
Friendly neighborhood, Peter David. Enough said.
Oh, okay, you got Peter David. But you know what I mean? It used to be that was a standard every issue of Spider-Man. He's helping the common man.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't have time for that.
Brent, your best and worst moment of 2006. Lay it on.
Well, let me just get this straight. Peter David, Friendly Neighborhood, another title I should be reading?
Definitely.
But not?
Yeah, do it. Right now.
Alright, I'm making a list.
Okay. Checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty and nice.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, man.
Ho, ho, oi.
Best and worst. My best moment, I think the Cap and Iron Man fight number 3 was the most exciting for me as a fanboy.
Okay.
I think the worst moment in 2006, story-wise, was the Thor clone thing, and then, otherwise would be the different deaths of Bill Foster.
Okay.
I thought that was ridiculous.
Now, for those people who don't know, that would be in the Century miniseries where they had him die about. Didn't he have about 17 different lives?
Wait, what?
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm
Goliath. You're talking about something else.
Okay, my mistake. Go ahead. Yeah, say that again.
Okay, my worst moment was Thor being a clone, but other than that was the mishandling of Goliath's death.
Okay.
In the regular Civil War book, he got shot through the chest with a huge bolt of lightning.
Yeah.
And then in Frontline, that came out a week later, it looked like he was electrocuted to death.
Which is one of the reasons why I wouldn't say that Frontline's one of my favorite books, but that's just me. But I think that it's inconsistencies like that that's taken me out of the book, but that's also because, art drawn 2 months ago isn't going to match up with art that was drawn 2 weeks ago.
Oh, stop your yammering.
Oh, come on.
So which do you think was drawn first?
Frontline.
Does it matter? I mean, this is a key moment in the storyline. There are a couple of things that they ought to be able to get straight, have a thumbnail sketch done of, at least, stick figure drawing or whatever, and hand it to all the artists and say, this is how he died.
Yeah. And then McNiven will go, but no, my way's so much cooler.
I don't care who puts the sketch or the thumbnail together or whatever. Should it be McNiven because he's doing the main series? Yes. Does it have to be? No. But, I mean, these are addressable issues, and editorial should be taking care of this.
See, that's the thing, the way comics work, it feels like nobody really talks to nobody except for the editors. It doesn't feel like artists or writers really talk to anybody unless they have to, like they're at a Marvel Summit or anything like that, Well,
I think some do, some don't. I think some of it are the channels of communication open? In other words, do they have the phone number or email address of whoever? And, of course, all these people are busy. They've got deadlines to meet and stuff. They can't spend all day on the phone necessarily. Not that it would take all day to get, old little things of, hey, we've got this pivotal scene we're doing. Let's see if we can sync it up between books.
And by the way, actually, the summit's happening right now. So, for next year. But this is all stuff that, should be happening on a regular basis where people actually get together and talk, If you're having a huge event like this, they should be in constant contact to get things right. Artists, writers, everybody for that matter.
Well, it would seem like you would have to have if you were running the company, you would have an editors meeting once a week between the different branches.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't know if that's really happening.
I don't even think this is a matter of an editors meeting that needs to happen.
Or editors talking?
Not even necessarily talking, although that would be a damn good idea. You just need to make sure they all get copies or photocopies, whatever, of all the pages as they come in, to where they can at least say, hey, this is a scene that crosses or is shown in multiple books. Let's make sure it syncs up.
That should be like the poster on the wall when you walk into the Marvel office. Goliath's death. Here you go. Memorize it. This is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Or, the whole prison in the negative zone.
Yeah, that was the other thing. In Frontline, it looks like a regular prison with bars, and then Ultimate Spider-Man, it's a freaking Matrix prison where they plug you into the back of your head to a virtual reality. Which one is it?
Yeah.
Both. See, the bars is actually part of the virtual reality.
See, I kind of figured, maybe that's the holding state. They haven't figured out a way to have a virtual reality heaven for him, so he's in the regular prison cell, but it doesn't make sense.
The Matrix is glitched, Neo. Enough said on that, but yeah, no, they really need to get their act straight. But we could say it so many times, we could say it so many different ways, but yeah, tighter editing will make us all happy for Marvel in 2007. Hasn't really been working too well in 2006, but I want to touch on something a bit different. I want to touch on the animated stuff in 2006 that came out. Specifically, we had the Ultimate Avengers and Ultimate Avengers 2. We have upcoming in 2007, we're going to have Iron Man and all that. Do you think this was a good move for Marvel to go out there and do those direct-to-DVD animateds, and do you think it's going to pay off in 2007?
I think it was a good maybe it was a good move or a good idea, but I think the way they carried it out just felt like half-assed to me. I mean, the second one was certainly better than the first one, but if you've read the Ultimates and that's what you're expecting and you watch that first cartoon, I mean, I understand it was made for on the cheap, that they did the best they could with the money they were given, but the animation quality, to me, just, stank. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be, better than a Saturday morning cartoon, but easily, the Batman animated series or any of the Justice League ones that were out at that time, the animation quality, I thought, was much better than the Marvel Ultimate Avengers.
Okay. You know what? It felt like it was about maybe 2 steps above what they did in the 90s, animation style-wise, and animation quality-wise, which, mind you, the stuff they did in the 90s wasn't really that good quality in the first place. So.
Well, the Spider-Man animated, did you like that?
I liked it, but when I look back on it now, it's not nearly as good as I thought it was, but that's mainly the CGI, and that's what's bothering me now, but then it looked good. So, for the time, it was pretty interesting having those 3D backgrounds included. But,
well,
it doesn't
even like
really
the
work as well
Hellboy,
now. Yeah.
the Hellboy animated, like all the interviews that guy's done, he said they had a lower budget than the Marvel one did.
Huh.
But the Hellboy animation looks better than Marvel.
Wow.
Because the Marvel one, to me, felt kind of stiff at times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all the 3D backgrounds for the Marvel just threw me off. Like, I understand having the big 3D vehicles, but to have, like, your entire background look 3D and then have 2D characters, it doesn't work.
John, what about you? I mean, what do you think that, I mean, do you think they've delivered in 2006, these DVD, straight-to-DVD animateds?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good move. It could have been done a little bit better, but not... I guess the issues I have with it weren't with the animation and stuff. Do I think that could have been better? Yeah. Do I think it was bad? No, not at all. I think it was perfectly serviceable and, of acceptable quality. I think the big win on this was Marvel was able to get out 2 direct-to-DVD features into mainstream locations like Walmarts and stuff, get the characters and stuff out in front of an audience, which theoretically could even get leverage to people, then reading the comics, although whether that happens or not, who knows. I think where they could have improved was, instead of doing Ultimate Avengers, which isn't really Avengers and isn't really Ultimates, maybe if they had done Ultimate Fantastic Four, or better yet, Ultimate Spider-Man. Something where there's a direct path of, hey, if you like this DVD, go read these comics. And since it is straight to DVD, and therefore theoretically under their complete control and no, broadcast regulations or whatever, it ought to have a clear, before the feature and after the feature of, this is based on comics, go read them. So I think they could have done a little better, but I think they did a good job. So yeah, I was pleased. I enjoyed both of the DVDs.
As did I, and I think that we're going to get even better in 2007. I think that this opened up the door for even better stuff, and I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the Ultimate Iron Man that I've seen so far.
That was going to be good.
Yeah, it looks really good, and the fact that they're including the old armor and the new armor in this, I'm totally into that. And enjoying what I'm seeing. The test animations I've seen for the Doctor Strange. Yeah, it looks like it should be really, really good. So they're on the right path. 2006 is leading them on the proper path to 2007. Are they going to deliver? That's the question. We're going to have to wait and see. But I like what I'm seeing out of it so far, where this was sort of the test run, the Ultimate Avenger stuff, and maybe we'll see even better stuff come 2007 with these new movies.
Well, I think the reason they chose Avengers is because, Spider-Man's tied up in the movie rights. He's got a movie coming out. Yeah. Fantastic Four just had a movie come out last summer.
There is that.
And they're filming the second one, and Ghost Rider's tied up in movie rights, and stuff like that. So Avengers was like the last maybe untouched property that they could market to a mass media that people might know.
Yeah, and Fantastic Four actually just finished wrapping, from what I've heard. So actually, we're going to get a preview trailer of that pretty soon. So that should be kind of fun.
Have you guys been watching the cartoon?
No.
I have.
I watched one episode and I turned it off.
What'd you think of it, John? I couldn't get past that giant 4 on Thing's chest.
I think some of the character designs are not necessarily good choices. The whole spray-painted 4 on the Thing, I'm not liking. The bizarre hairstyle for the Human Torch, I'm not liking. Animation, I think, could be and should be a lot better. Stories are okay. They've gotten lots of good guest stars. The one thing that just, amazes me about the Thing is if the Fantastic Four wants to have a nice quiet day, they should get the hell out of the Baxter Building. I swear, it seems like almost every episode I've seen, they're in the Baxter Building, fighting for their lives because they're being invaded. They're going and fighting Dr. Doom for the 18th time, or whatever. It's I mean, I'm all for reusing, the background footage, leverage the animation you've got, or whatever. I can see cost benefits to doing it that way, but good Lord, get the hell out of the building.
Well, from what I've heard, you're probably only going to be able to get the rest of this Fantastic Four on DVD because it's not on Cartoon Network anymore. It's already off the schedule there. It's done terrible on there.
I hadn't realized that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to make that into some sort of just regular old, like, straight-to-DVD thing. Just start doing that regularly, because I've heard things about a possible, in 2007, Spider-Man straight-to-DVD thing going on. So that could happen.
I wish they would continue the one they had on MTV, like the CGI thing. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, I thought the animation on that was harsh. I did not like the animation quality.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good enough CGI to get by.
Yeah. For a TV show, I thought it was good.
And Doogie was a great voice, so... I mean, Doogie Howser and Lisa Loeb and the guy who almost has my name did a really, really good job of doing the voices on that. So they did a good job of actually getting celebrities that sounded enough like the characters to suit me. So I was happy enough with that. Now, obviously, we've talked about the animation. We've talked about the comics movies. There hadn't been a lot of movies that came out in 2006 for the world of Marvel Comics. But what we did get was a very, very rushed movie. Is this a sign of things to come when it comes to the Marvel Comics world of movies? Because we got Punisher 2 that's going to be happening eventually. Ghost Rider's coming out next year. Spider-Man 3 is coming out next year. It's going to be a huge year for the Marvel Universe in the movies. But
what movie did we get this year?
X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, X-Men 3. That's really it, to tell you the truth, from what I'm thinking about. Because there wasn't really anything else, was there, John?
Not that I can recall, but that doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Well, if Ghost Rider wasn't pushed back, we would have gotten that this year.
True. Yeah, but I mean, what do you guys think of that idea, though? The fact that we're getting a whole bunch next year, not that much this year. I think this is a good idea. I think that 2006 was a good time for them to maybe back off a little bit so they don't flood the market on these giant events. Because obviously you had the Superman, you had the Batman going for DC, but that was a long time coming. Had you had more than maybe one big feature from Marvel here, it would have made the other ones look, cheap and silly eventually, in my opinion. So spread them out. You're doing good. So let 2007 have a couple of movies. Didn't really need too many in 2006 to get by.
But that's not Marvel, that's the different studios. I mean, Sony is doing Spider-Man and Fox is doing Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So they're putting those movies at the same time. They're both in the summer to basically compete with each other.
Yeah.
That's not planning on Marvel's part. I think that's just happenstance.
But you do actually have Marvel making a huge move movie-wise by getting most of their licenses in their own house now, as opposed to I think the only ones that are left really are Spider-Man and X-Men. If I'm remembering this correctly here, I think Fantastic Four is getting back to them once the second one is done. Hulk is back in their house. And they have the entire Avengers lineup is pretty much theirs. They could do that Avengers movie that they've been talking about, but they've got Iron Man in their house, Captain America, all these other things they could do in-house with Marvel Entertainment Studios, which would probably be a good thing for 2007, 2008.
It just comes down to, do they have the budget to do it and to do it right?
Yeah.
I mean, in an ideal world for them, they would have movies coming out on a regular basis, a couple of times a year or whatever, far enough apart they don't compete with each other, yet not so far apart that you wind up with one stuck in a dead zone or whatever in terms of the movie cycles and stuff. Because when you get into this mode where you've got a year where not much comes out and then this huge wave of movies, then a year where not much comes out and then a huge wave of movies, sooner or later that's going to hit off cycle. One of those waves is not going to work for whatever reason, and you run the risk of Hollywood thinking, superheroes are passe, we're done with them for another 10 years or whatever.
Yeah. Which happened back in the late 90s, really.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
And if they can get it to where, just like, sci-fi movies come out all the time, or, comedies come out all the time, or whatever, superheroes are just another genre that stick around. And I think we're at that point, potentially. Because we're seeing things like My Super Ex-Girlfriend and things of that nature that are, riffs on the superhero concept, but not superhero movies per se. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. And Marvel's getting to where they're in a position to really leverage their huge, roster of characters.
So it might not be stuff that we see in 2007 that maybe, take advantage of that huge roster of characters, but maybe 2008, 2009. when they're actually, getting the money behind them and getting things going. But that Hulk one is already in effect. But it still amuses me that it's not a sequel. It's a quote-unquote remake. It's a redo, which is...
No, I thought they were going in a sequel direction. They weren't going to throw anything out.
Okay.
They're just kind of shoving the weird stuff under the rug.
But
I don't think they're going to reestablish the origin.
Okay, because I've heard many different things about that. I've heard that's a remake, that it's continuing it. They change their mind on that every 8 seconds. All we know is that Eric Bana is not attached, and neither is Conway. So whatever we get, it's not going to be that original movie, just a sequel of that. It's going to be very, very different.
How about the director? Because I won't like it if it's not Ang Lee.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
It was a joke on the "you wouldn't like me if I'm not angry," but obviously.
Oh, I was gonna say
they can't all be winners.
But
see, the thing I had against the Hulk movie was not the direction. I liked the drama and everything, but the thing that got me was the comic book panels.
Yeah.
If they had had them in a stationary place, I would not have had a problem with it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that at some points they moved across the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking the helicopter shots. I'm talking about when General Ross is in one corner, and the Hulk was in another corner, and they're moving across the screen. My eyes can't do those three things at once, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was a bit too experimental in
with
places, and I think some of the choices that Ang Lee made as the director were not good ones.
Were there any Marvel titles that you were anticipating in 2006 that really fell flat in your minds? Things that you were really, really looking forward to that just did not work. Let's take Civil War out of this, because we've been talking about Civil War nonstop. But was there anything in particular that fell flat for you? And on the same side, what were some of your most anticipated 2006 things that really hit the bucket, hit exactly where you wanted it to be? And I guess Brent, for you,
the thing that fell flat for me was the fallout from the other.
Mm-hmm.
I invested in that event or whatever it was, and it was terrible. And then it never went anywhere because we had to go straight into Civil War.
Yeah.
So the mystery person we saw at the end of the other is going to seem like a lost storyline, and I don't even think they're going to bring that back anymore because it's so far gone.
Well, nothing's ever too far gone for Marvel Comics.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, come on. They announced who the third Summers brother was about 20 years after they first introduced it. So there you go with that. Nothing is ever dead in the Marvel universe, or the DC universe for that matter. They could drop a hint, maybe 10 years previously, and all of a sudden it's brought up again, and you're like, wow, continuity, that's amazing. No, they forgot about it, and then they remembered it.
I think the thing that I was most disappointed in was Ultimate Extinction.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Galactus was a swarm of bugs, basically.
Yeah.
Really disappointing.
Okay, so you would rather him be the big giant head?
Well, not really a giant head, but something better than that, because Swarm of Bugs we've seen already.
Yeah.
In movies and sci-fi and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for something...
Yeah.
It could have been similar to a World Devourer or something, like a big giant head or giant person, but, something different than that.
And...
not quite a totally different thing, but the way they've been doing it with the Ultimate Universe, it's just kind of a skewed direction from the Marvel Universe. And then in some places, they're varying very differently, but the main basic things, they're just skewing a little bit.
I gotcha. Yeah. John, what about you? Things that you were anticipating in 2006 that hit the mark, things that didn't. Give me a couple of those off the top of your head that are not Civil War, because we know all about that already.
Two that I thought missed the mark. The one I thought missed it completely was Sable and Fortune. That because I liked the Silver Sable series back in the day when that was out. Some of the stuff they'd done with Fortune I thought was good.
Yeah.
They put these two together, and man, it was just a train wreck.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with that. And it left off with we're going to continue this elsewhere sort of a thing, and I'm like, no, you're not. It's don't even pretend you're going to.
Yeah.
The other one that's really fizzling out for me is the whole Squadron Supreme stuff.
Okay.
Now, I'll admit I'm a little biased because I like the old Mark Gruenwald stuff a lot better. I don't think Straczynski is doing his best writing these days anywhere, really, and certainly not on this title. And about the only reason I'm still getting these is because they're crossing over into the Ultimate Universe for the Ultimate Power stuff.
Yeah.
If that series had either not come out or had not started when it did, I probably would have cut the Squadron Supreme titles from my list when I did a big purge a few months back. Things that I thought have been hitting the mark. I was very pleased with the first issue of White Tiger. Very pleased with the first issue of X-23. Certainly, I think, as we've already talked about, X-Factor has done very well.
Okay.
Another one, completely missed the mark, Untold Tales of the New Universe. They should have remained untold.
Okay. Well, that would have certainly made sense, though. It's Untold Tales.
I was hoping
They
they'd
should have
open
called
it
it Told
just,
Tales.
Told Tales.
Told Tales.
Or they could do, instead of full-page stories, they could do half-length ones and then print them twice, and it could be twice Told Tales.
Doubly told, but not doubly good.
That totally made up for the Ang Lee.
I'm trying.
You're getting there, buddy.
Now,
time after time, you're getting there.
The other thing that I thought really missed the mark was Ultimates 2,
Okay.
because we've only gotten 3 issues this year. 10, 11, and 12.
Oh, boy.
13's done. That's what he said.
Well, I don't care if it's
But we
done.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, you still
We
haven't
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's a quarterly book.
The fact that we already have a team for Ultimates 4 and Ultimates 3 hasn't even started
You're
yet.
kidding. Actually,
Yeah.
McGinnis.
that
Yeah.
is a good sign, because if they're smart, they'll have the team for 4 going ahead and start when the team for 3 is going, to where we'll actually get 4 out on time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Loeb and McGinnis for 4. So
Here's the thing with that, though. It's the same writer writing both seasons
Yeah.
with different
Well,
artists.
but-
Unless he has it completely planned out, how is he going to write on top of
He
himself?
does have it planned out. We saw
Hopefully.
this story already in Superman Batman. It's just going to be the other side of the tail.
Oh, God, no.
It's going to come extremely early.
No. They had, essentially, the Avengers.
Not the Maximums.
The
Not the
Maximums.
Maximums. Oh, jeez. Oh, my pain. My head hurts now. It's your fault. Oh, we do not need to see that again, man.
He could recycle the dialogue.
Oh,
And you know what they're going to do for the annual.
oh, God.
Well, the Superman Batman annual wasn't written by Jeff Loeb.
Yes.
Yeah, so what? They'll have, what was it, Casey or Kelly or whoever did that do the...
Joe Kelly.
Whatever, man. Just don't let that happen, please.
That would
For the-
actually be pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, great, terrific. So and they'll have a Bizarro and with a giant number 1 on there. Excuse me, like a Bizarro with a number 3 on it. So it's not Bizarro number 1; it's Bizarro number 3.
No, they'll
Have a
have
whole
it
bunch of
be
things going on there.
the Gladiator, whatever, from the Imperial Guard.
Uh-huh.
They'll have some Batman equivalent from that race.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do it all within the universe.
Ooh, they could do like Infinity Gauntlet or something like that, where they have like all the doppelgangers.
That's it. They send the Gladiator and the Batman equivalent after Kingpin, who's got the Infinity Gauntlet. Because of course, bald, rich guy in a tower.
Well, John, it's been fun. So thank you very much for joining us here. Oh my dear Lord! All right, 2006 titles that really hit the mark for me. Without a doubt, whatever Brubaker touches turns to gold. So Captain America and Daredevil have both been spot on for me. So I'm glad to see that really worked out. Astonishing X-Men also. I was afraid that the second arc would not be nearly as good. I mean, the second run wouldn't be nearly as good as the first run was, but it really was. It delivered for me. It's hard to really put that into a time frame, but as long as you don't try and think of that, then you're good with it. So Astonishing X-Men really did that for me. New Avengers also. I liked how Luke Cage grew in that. I liked these stories that came out during Civil War. The individual character stories worked really, really well for me. I'm glad I was anticipating those, and it really worked out. Yeah.
You said outside of Civil War.
Inside of Civil War.
You said outside.
Yes, I know, but
You said we couldn't say anything inside Civil War.
Oh, okay. Well, I did say
Broke your own rule.
Gotcha. Son of a bitch. Ha ha! You are correct, sir. Well, no, technically those aren't really too much civil. Never mind. Yeah,
Are
well,
you sure you read those?
yeah, right. The things that I anticipated the most, it really fell flat. I did not like Heroes for Hire at all. And I was really anticipating that. It just did not really work for me. I'm sure it worked for other people, but it just was not nearly as good a book as I was hoping for. Moon Knight, leave your goddamn house. All right? Finally, we got him to leave his house a couple issues in. But for a while there, I felt like I was watching, like, a really, really bad Vincent Price movie or something like that, where he just sits in a chair and does absolutely nothing for the entire movie long, you know? Let's get something going in that book finally, please. Thank you very much. And one more that really didn't hit the mark for me, Ghost Rider. Was really looking for a lot of good stuff out of that. Didn't really find it. So hopefully they'll get better, you know, come 2007. But these are books that I was really looking forward to, and it did not hit the mark for me. So I don't know whether or not you guys liked Heroes for Hire or Ghost Rider, but it really didn't work for me too much.
I thought Heroes for Hire was okay. I didn't think it was brilliant by any stretch. I didn't think it was horrible.
Yeah.
It's one that, you know, if I need to cut further, I'll cut that.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider, I'm not getting.
Okay. Did you pick it up at all with, like, first issue? Just
No.
to even give it a shot? Okay. Brent, did you at all, or?
I didn't get either of those, but I did get Daniel Way's other book, Wolverine Origins, and that did not hit the mark for me either.
Oh, speaking of Daniel Way, just to talk about this for about 8 seconds, what do you think about the war between Daniel Way and his fans that's going on his webpage? Apparently, somebody criticized him, and I believe his exact response was, "Screw you, I don't care about you, my book's doing well, get the hell out of here, you punk."
Always a good response from a creator to a fan.
Exactly.
I like it when they lay it on the line and are straight up and honest with the fans and tell them just go to hell and stop buying the book.
Get out of your
That's
basement,
how you
you
get
punk.
more readers.
Yeah, in fact, I had Stan Lee done that back in the day when Spider-Man had first started.
Exactly. This is entirely Stan Lee's school of marketing.
Exactly. Hey there, true believers. You all suck.
Get the fuck out.
It sounds more like the Stan Lee experience from X-Play than Stan Lee himself, but that's another story for another time as well.
The part that gets me with this is Dan Way, whatever, has a really odd relationship at times with Marvel.
Yeah.
Because I'm still waiting for issues 3 and 4 of Gun Theory to come out.
Yeah, about that. Not going to happen. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Or if it does happen, it'll be on the Spider-Man Black Cat schedule.
Could be, but I mean, come on. I mean, you start a 4-issue miniseries and you stop it halfway? What the hell?
Well, that sounds like a lot of the things that Warren Ellis put out for Marvel Comics, such as his Ultimate stuff, but that was more on the art than it was on him, but... Jeez. Way too many delays happening, period. 2007, hopefully there'll be less, but who am I kidding? Of course there'll be delays, but
Well,
DC has
it's
the
going
problem
to start out that way because we're still having
Yeah.
the Civil War stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because of the Civil War stuff, they have no excuse to be late on titles like Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Amazing Spider-Man,
Avengers 1 and 2, both of them.
Both of them, the Punisher War Journal. I mean, anything that's already been delayed and gone to like a bi-monthly or quarterly schedule, they should have had time to build up inventory stories, or, you know, an inventory of stories, I should say.
Yeah.
But
And by the way, if Brian K. Vaughan starts missing deadlines now that he's writing for Lost, I am going to be very annoyed. That's all I'm saying, okay? Because it seems to have worked really well when the TV writers come to comics. So hopefully when the comic writers come to TV, it won't affect their comics. I'm just going to hope for that and pray for that it works out very well. All right?
I think we need more novelists coming to comics.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Tom Brevoort, do it. Do it. Do it now. Yeah, well, we've got we've got plenty of forum comments to go through, but let me do this one last thing here because it's similar to what I just asked, but it's a little different. 2006 titles that left you anticipating 2007 the most. Titles that were so damn good in 2006 or left you on a cliffhanger in 2006 that you're just, damn, I need to read 2007. Or even new creative teams that are coming out of titles that have left you anticipating 2007 the most. John, start with you.
Actually, I'm going to go with some of the ones you mentioned as your highlights for the year. I mean, I think you're right with both Captain America and Daredevil being, very well done by Brubaker. I'm really enjoying those and definitely want to see more on those. Other titles I'm anticipating for the coming year. Let's see. I think again, going back to X Factor. I think that's the strongest X book out there, even though it's not really a core X book by any stretch.
Runaways.
Actually, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how Joss Whedon does on Runaways. I get the book. I've gotten it the whole time. I like it. It's not one that I think is just, a natural knockout of the park thing, but I think the minute he gets on it, it will be. It really plays to his strengths, I think.
Hey, I'm pretty much. I mean, I said top 10 before, but I'll make that a little lower. I'm guaranteeing it's at least a top 25 book once Whedon comes on. So
yeah, but don't get your hopes up because he's only on for 5 issues.
It is only 5 issues?
Yeah, I've read it on Newsarama, and I think his podcast interview or something with that other podcast out there, I'm not going to say their name, he said he was only on for 5 issues.
Okay.
Why announce the writer if he's only going to be on 5 issues? They made a big hoopla about it. The new writer of Runaways, Joss Whedon. He's not the new writer, he's a guest writer. The new writer is the one coming on after him.
Okay. Well, the writer after that will obviously be the guy who wrote Ultimate Hulk and Ultimate Wolverine.
And Runaways will die. Yes.
I want to jump in real quick with another thing that I thought completely missed the mark this year.
Yeah.
Nick Fury, Howling Commandos.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that, sir. All right, Norton, I love you, but that was one of the few books that I didn't pick up that you did. I'm sorry.
That's how much of a Mike Norton fan I got that.
Wow. You are devoted, then. You are very, very devoted.
Committed is the term.
Yes. Oh, whose bright idea was it when this was brought up that could totally work?
Well, the thing
Monsters.
It could, but not today.
Yeah.
Because essentially, the same concept was done by DC with the Weird War Tales back in the early '80s, late '70s, or whatever. And they had a Frankenstein, a vampire, a werewolf. I mean, they had the regular roster of monsters. It can work, but you gotta have a decent story. You gotta have an artist versus 4,000 that they used over the course of 6 issues. And my God, the colors on the first issue were so dark as to make it, incomprehensible. Mm-hmm. And of course, that was a case where the preview pages in every other Marvel book guaranteed no sales.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's a shame that it wasn't Nick Fury in the Howling Commandos. Good night, everybody. Jeez. Well, at least that way you wouldn't have, sullied Nick Fury's name. But it was just the Howling Commandos, right? Nick Fury's name wasn't on the title?
Yes, his name was on the title.
Oh, wasn't the title? That's a shame.
Nick Fury's Howling Commandos.
Ugh.
Well, another thing that missed the mark for me this year was Nick Fury. Where was he? I thought he was supposed to come back this year.
Commandos. He was so embarrassed by that, he took off.
He took off.
He's like, Hasselhoff, you come in.
You look like me. That's what Marvel keeps saying. Come on, get over here. Jesus, man. But that actually is a good point there, that we were promised a return, and we didn't really get a return until this most recent issue of Captain America. So, and he's not even technically back in that. He's just sort of like, I'm here. Hi. I'm alive. I swear. I didn't lose another eye yet.
Well, I think the biggest thing was he was in the Spider-Woman thing of New Avengers, but other than that, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that and the most recent Captain America. Like I said, pick up the most recent Captain America and you'll see the developments that happen with Fury and that. And they are Civil War related, so it's just not just a random Brubaker story, but it explains, where the hell he's been and why the hell he hasn't really been in contact with everybody. But for God's sakes, bring him back.
Do you think he'll come back at the end of Civil War?
Not at the end of Civil War, but at the end of Civil War. Not in the last issue or something like that, but literally, once it's all said and done, he'll poke his head out in Canada.
I'd like to see an ongoing S.H.I.E.L.D. series of some sort.
Oh, yeah. Well, wouldn't that be something, though, if Fury actually does go to Canada and works with, Omega Flight?
No. I do not have high expectations for that title.
Dude, U.S. agent. Enough said. That's gonna be
Like
great.
I said.
No, come on. All right, you can't go wrong with USA. Oh, yes, you can. That outfit that Jurgens made for him a couple of years back, where he looked like he was Judge Dredd, that was the worst outfit I have ever seen. I think it was Jurgens who designed it. I could be wrong.
That character's gone through so many different outfits. It's not even funny. What got me was the shield with like the Constitution on it that would flip out to have like star points or something. It's like what the hell were they thinking?
Hell?
That was in
when you're
New Invaders.
Okay.
Well, when you're a ripoff of like a main character in the same universe, how good can you be?
You can
War
be
Machine was
good.
pretty cool. Yeah, War Machine was pretty cool.
Thunderstrike I thought was really good.
Thunderstrike was great. Yeah, in fact, I'm glad to see that. Well, we don't actually have the Thunderstrike, but we do have his son in A-Next, which I've been really enjoying a lot. So.
I pulled out of the MC2 universe when they rebooted Spider-Girl. Or relaunched, I should say. They did not reboot, they relaunched.
They're having an Ultron story now. It's all fun. It's good times. Well.
It's good stuff, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just needed to be cutting back, and it was more or less self-contained.
Yeah.
But that's
Brent,
one that, I may pick up in back issues at some
That's
point.
one that Brent should be picking up.
Why don't you just mail them to me when you're done with them?
Anyway, all right, moving on, we got to forum comments that I should probably get to, and Matthew Guy, as always, giving us his comments on everything, so here we go with that. What was your favorite Marvel moment in 2006? The reveal of Civil War #2, which we brought up as one of them, concerning Spider-Man's secret identity being revealed to the public, which I think will have a magic undo by the last pages of issue 7 from Civil War. I don't know if it's going to be that soon, but maybe it'll happen later on. I don't know.
It is going to have a
series is
reset
great
button
also.
at some point.
Yeah. It'll be like, the Nintendo. Just reset. It's all over.
Too bad there's not a Spectre in the Marvel Universe like there was for The Flash.
That's true. We do have whatever happened to the Living Tribunal? Never really see him that much. He's supposed to be like our Spectre. Or at least depending on who writes him. So
No, because he's mainly yellow. Spectre's mainly green. It's totally different.
Oh, exactly. One has 3
The Spectre
heads.
has one head, yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Which new titles rocked your world and which ones fell flat? Daredevil, She-Hulk, and Captain America were hot. Ms. Marvel, this is something that I actually disagree with. Ms. Marvel is a big knot. Plus, I did get The Thing in trade paperback. I'm assuming he just says Ms. Marvel he got in trade paperback and not The Thing, because that was actually a great thing. So it's lowercase The Thing, so I'm assuming he's talking about Ms. Marvel, not The Thing, which is Dan Slott.
The way I'm reading it is...
I think he got
The
Dan
Thing.
Slott in paperback.
Yeah. Oh, he did?
Yeah, because that one's out. Miss
That's
Marvel
a
isn't.
shame. Oh, well.
Miss Marvel was good, though. Those 3 Civil War issues were the only ones I picked up, but I enjoyed them.
What got me it was very different, though, than the Ms. Marvel we'd been reading prior to that. I mean, new costume, new take, whatever. And they were addressing this, I think, afterwards in the current issues.
They are, actually. In the most recent ones, they have a whole thing going on about that, which works pretty well. But it's actually... it's a pretty interesting run, and I mean they just had a whole thing with Rogue going on, and they've also had some smaller moments, some funnier moments thrown in there. I've enjoyed it. The Thing, Dan Slott, love it, absolutely love that. So I'm a positive man for The Thing. If you were just talking about Ms. Marvel, though, Matthew, let us know. But if you're saying The Thing was something that fell flat, I'm gonna have to disagree with that.
And capitalization does matter.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. Has Civil War proven to be as effective as it was hoped for with the Marvel branch in 2006? Effective, yes. Planned out, well, certainly not. Only time will tell with the trade sales come in. I will not support Marvel by getting it in trade form. After Civil War, I will get just my core title, Daredevil, in single issues until 100, then trade form only. I will get Captain America in trade form after 26. I will keep She-Hulk in single issues because it is a low-selling title with quality art and writing. But as Augie from Pipeline Podcast would say, Marvel screwed the pooch on Civil War not once but now twice with the delays. I have and will continue to put my money towards Fables trades and Wildstorm horror titles like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, along with indie titles Lone Ranger as a way to stick it to Marvel for the mess-up. money speaks, and where it goes speaks volumes. And I was not impressed with Civil War delays with issues 3, 4, and 5. I hope in January they can at least finish the series on a high note with 6 and 7 if they come out in January, as I believe it when it comes in my DCBS order in February, as Marvel promises, but to this point has yet to deliver to the good fans. What 2006 titles left you anticipating 2007 the most? He goes with Daredevil, a great new team behind a quality flagship title for Marvel, and She-Hulk, a great series that needs more readers, and I look forward to new issues from both series in 2007. But I will get Dark Tower in trade. With the delays on this series even coming out in the first place, I am not going to be dragged into another long, drawn-out 7-part miniseries from Marvel. No thank you. It's about damn time on Dark Tower. I'm glad it's finally coming out, because this thing's been in the works forever, it feels like. The whole Stephen King thing.
Yeah. They've been announcing that for over a year, haven't they? Or at least hinting at it.
Yeah, it got pushed back a year. So technically, Jay Lee should have all of it done.
Technically. Major technically there, because this is Marvel we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think have they had more delays this year than DC?
Yeah. Without a doubt. No question. Because number one, Civil War Frontline, because of Civil War, ended up getting delayed, and that was supposed to be their bi-weekly thing coming out. And 52, no delays in 52 weeks. Automatically, that makes it better. So DC is definitely doing better with the avoiding lateness than Marvel has. So that's what I'm saying, at least. I mean, other people might think differently, but that's my opinion. I don't know. Any of you guys think differently on that, or?
I would actually have to go and dig through my database to see who had more delays, who had longer delays, and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, mind you, Wonder Woman has been delayed long enough to, make up for all that, but that's another story. That's for next episode. But and the least anticipated 2007 title, Civil War, as it has yet to come out. TikTok Marvel. The cynic in me says there will be one more delay with Civil War before it wraps up. The artist will get sick again, or the editor will waste his time with his series. Somehow, something will delay the book again. I will believe it when I see it and read the issues for myself in early February. If no additional delays on Marvel's end happens, less of a Marvel reader thank the Civil War. Matthew Guy. So that's Matthew on there, but he is in the minority, though.
That's just him.
No, that's not
I would say that he's more of a minority than you think, though. Because he sounds really, angry at Marvel for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Whereas other fans, when the delay came out, other fans were a little mad, and then even the second delay, people were just like, yeah, well, it's expected now. But he's I think maybe he was the only one on the CGS forum that got really angry about the second delay.
Well, Peter stopped picking it up, so...
Peter, but he stopped at the first one.
True.
But he hasn't really harped on the other things yet.
No, but that's only because Peter hasn't been on their episodes for Civil War either.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand his reasoning on that. It goes back to the way Marvel handled the delay. I mean, they mishandled that big time.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Matthew has been very vocal about his displeasure. I think he's got very legitimate grounds for that displeasure.
Oh, sure.
And it's unfortunate because Marvel, if they had played this better in terms of how they released the information and stuff like that, instead of having any contingent of their fan base, and I do think it's more than just Matthew that's feeling this way. Maybe not to the extent of Matthews, whatever. Instead of having
that's what I meant.
A contingent though that's upset, they could have gotten it to it's we'll wait, whatever.
Yeah.
If they hadn't blindsided people.
Sure. Yeah, but that's the thing. They blindsided people, and you don't do that in any business, let alone the comic business. Yeah, so they're hopefully going to learn their lesson about that, and I definitely, once again, thank you for the comments, Matthew, and I hope you have a very happy holiday. Everybody out there, for that matter, have a very happy holiday, and holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Crazy Kwanzaa, whatever you want to do, just happy holidays to everybody out there. HDutch007 has something to say here. Marvel had a bit of a mixed bag this year, in my opinion. The highlight for me has been the direct-to-DVD releases of their properties, this year being the 2 Avengers movies. I know that fans are split on these, but I have really enjoyed them, and I am looking forward to Iron Man and Doctor Strange next year. Civil War is where things get tricky for me. For the first couple of months, I bought into it completely and was loving every minute of it. Then we got to Clore. Another one who hated the Clore there, the mighty Clore. which, by the way, should spin off into his own series, the Scarlet Thor. I think that would work very well. I was so excited that Thor was back that I couldn't contain myself. Then we find out that it's a clone. Talk about knocking the wind out of your sails. That's when the momentum started to shift for me. Between the lateness and the issues and the fact that the books just don't seem to be wowing me like those first 3 did, Civil War has really lost momentum. I still care about it, but my passion for it is gone. I'm honestly ready for the event to be over so that we can get back to stories told in each book without the line-wide crossover. When you find yourself wishing that a crossover is finished, that's probably not a compliment for that event. 7, I'm looking forward to seeing why the heck Spidey is wearing black again, besides the fact that they have to cross-promote the movie, as well as seeing how the Hulk ties into the events of next year and finally reading Mighty Avengers. New titles that rock my world are the new Highlander comic from Dynamite, as well as the crop of Star Wars titles from Dark Horse. As for what 2006 titles left me nonplussed about 2007, I have to say that Wolverine Origins and Moon Knight, despite my best hopes, have been stinkers. If I had one wish for 2007 that I could make come true, it would be that the newest crop of Hollywood writers would take a backseat to solid storytellers who get their books in on time every month and who can tell a good story month to month, not trade to trade. And that's what H-Dutch 007, real name Heath Holland, has to say about that. And I kind of agree with that. Enough with the Hollywood writers already. Get back to real comic book writers.
No, I would agree with that too. We need people who can, focus on their comics and actually do the job they're trying to do. Now, I will say Joss Whedon is the exception to the Hollywood crew.
Sure.
Because he's doing great work. But
Kevin Smith, however, we're done with
Stay away.
Yeah, we're done with
I would be hard-pressed to name any other Hollywood writer other than Joss Whedon, who I think is doing good comics these days.
Alan Heinberg. Minus the delays on Wonder Woman. If you just talk about Young Avengers, that was some of the best stuff that I've read.
And
in a
that
long
went
time.
on hiatus because he was too busy to be doing them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
but it will be coming back, hopefully with no delays. But hopefully, that's the thing.
Fine, but I got all of 3 issues this year because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I would have bought 12 if they'd come out with 12.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good and all, but it doesn't matter if it's good and it comes out 3 times a year or whatever, or if it's maybe not quite as stellar, but it's still a good read, and comes out monthly.
Yeah, well, monthly and Marvel doesn't really get along. I'm sorry.
Well, it comes from the top when something like Daredevil Father can be egregiously late.
You honestly, you have a point there, because the editor-in-chief should be the one who's actually setting the standard. And if his standard is 1 issue a year, then that's not really saying much for the people underneath him.
Well,
Should have even put it out if that was going to happen.
well, yeah, a 6-issue thing. Wait till you're done.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, think about what happened with that Shazam series out of DC. They waited until it was done, and now they're putting it out.
And they waited a long time for that.
Mm-hmm.
And they I give them credit for that. They would have liked to have had that on the schedule much sooner, I'm sure.
Sure, yeah, without a doubt, and I'm sure it's going to, get plenty of people on board, because that's freaking, that's creator Bone, for God's sakes, and he's got a whole bunch of people behind him, so they knew what they were going for there. And Quesada has a lot of fans too. Had you actually had a product to go with, you might even have numbers on it still. But what are you going to do? That's life for you right there. So.
Well, you look at Bone, you look at Daredevil Father, but also things like Civil War. To me, the difference between the Shazam stuff, waiting until it's ready to get solicited, and Civil War getting rushed out. Part of that is corporate pressure. What they need to have done when, etc. One big event, one not. But also, it's the difference between Mike Carlin as an editor and Tom Brevoort as an editor.
There you go.
And hands down, I would pick Mike Carlin any day of the week.
Yeah. Amen to that. I'm on board for that, to tell you the truth. So, I'm dying. All right, yeah. One more thing that I wanted to mention from Heath's post, actually 2 more things, to tell you the truth. Black costume. Back in 2007, yay or nay? And also, what are you guys anticipating for World War Hulk? I guess both of those. I'll start with Brent.
Black costume, more of an A, kind of in the middle there.
A.
Kind of a I don't care, but I'm kind of piqued my interest, so we'll see where that goes. I think somebody's going to die, to be honest.
And that somebody might very well have red hair.
Or gray. It's one of them, too, obviously.
Yeah, no.
Or really, really hurt.
You know who I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Roberta.
Maybe J. Jonah Jameson dies and he puts it on because of that.
Well, I think it's when he dyes his hair red that J. Jonah dies.
Oh, no. Anywho.
What was the second thing?
World War Hulk.
World War Hulk. John Romita Jr., some of the things, I liked his Wolverine, I like his Spider-Man stuff, but his Eternal stuff is okay, but drawing everything in the Marvel Universe just doesn't sell me.
Yeah.
Hulk coming back to kick everyone's butt, that sells me. But just, kind of iffy on that.
Okay.
I might get that in trade, because I haven't read Planet Hulk yet.
I might do the same thing, to tell you the truth, because Planet Hulk didn't really wow me too much, and I know that I'm in the minority there because a lot of people loved it, but it's not really my thing. So I might maybe try it in trade, see how it works that way. But John, black costume, yay or nay, and World War Hulk.
I can go either way on the black costume. I liked it the first time around. That was actually when I started getting into Spider-Man and most of the Marvel books. So far as nostalgia goes, sure, I'm cool with that. I hope they have a good reason for it, a good storyline to go with it. I'm not sure I agree with Heath that they're doing it to cross-promote the movies, because, quite frankly, the 100,000 people or so who might be getting the Spider-Man book, and that would be a really, really high estimate, aren't going to make a hill of beans worth of difference to box office receipts.
Of course.
Planet Hulk, I'm enjoying. But, we've seen this sort of a thing with Hulk before, and we'll inevitably see it again. That's fine. The World War Hulk, yeah, it should be fun, whatever. Is it one I'm just really waiting for? No, but I'm gonna get it. But that's no big surprise.
Oh, but it's going to have giant ramifications in the Marvel Universe.
Everything
you mean
has
like House of
giant
M?
ramifications in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Well, if you're as big as the Hulk is, you're going to have giant no matter what.
But hi-oh.
Fill in the blank there.
Yeah, right. Oh, anyway. Notwing had a very simple statement to make, and it's one that we've been talking about pretty much all show. I can wait for 2008 to see how Civil War ends.
I think that's entirely unfair and inaccurate. I think it'll be 2009.
Oh, okay.
I'll go for 10.
Do I hear 11?
Going once, going twice.
56!
I'm sorry, we're going to have to delay this auction.
Well, that would only be the case if Civil War was being written by Kevin Smith with art by Jim Lee.
Ooh.
Yes. Thank you very much. It had to be said. Eichenheimer has something to say as well. These are both tough and easy questions to answer. I'll start with the easy ones and move on from there. And I'll try not to rant on Civil War too much, since Matthew already did a great job with the subject, and so did we on this episode.
Oh, yeah.
As far as things that I would have liked to turn out differently, I'm going with Ultimate Hulk vs. Wolverine and the majority of the Decimation titles. We all have experienced the heartache and woe associated with late titles, but 2 issues in 1 year, and technically it's only 1 issue in 1 year.
Yeah, technically it's only 1.
Yep. Come on! Issue 3 will be a collector's item for the sole reason that it doesn't exist. And the Decimation stuff really started out with promise, but let me down in the end. The only good thing to come out of it was the new X Factor title. Agree with that. Although, the stuff with the Sentinel Squad 1, I read that in trade. It was actually really good, and I love seeing anything with Rhodey in it, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but I would say X Factor was the main win out of that.
Oh, yeah.
That alone,
Yeah.
It was worth it.
The color scheme on that War Machine armor he was wearing, no.
Was it purple? Yeah.
Purple War Machine armor? Hell no.
It's Rainbow War Machine.
That's a Max title, actually. Alright, Oh my God, we're going into the depths of hell here with every single moment on this episode. All right, let's see. New titles that rocked my world were Heroes for Hire, Civil War Frontline, if limited series count, X Factor, Ghost Rider, Eternals. Oh, forgot to mention Eternals. I'm glad that he mentioned it. And Punisher War Journal. Eternals, great book. I'm glad that, in order to get rid of his legal fees, Neil Gaiman had to write this book. So it turned out really well. And honestly, Romita Jr. and Gaiman on a book, I am absolutely sold. It's been flooring me. It's been great stuff so far.
It has been good. And Punisher War Journal's been, I really like the first issue of that, too.
I have to agree with both of those things.
I'm only about halfway through the first issue, but from what I've seen out of the first issue so far, it's really good. So, and I haven't been reading Punisher Max. So this is the only Punisher that I've been reading.
I don't like the Punisher Max stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't read Max either.
Not an Ennis fan, or?
I don't like that kind of storytelling. I mean, it's not bad stuff. It's not to my taste.
I gotcha. Okay. So you'd rather see a Punisher that's a bit more nice and flowery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not nice and flowery. He's going to go and kill people and stuff, but there comes a certain amount of profanity that I don't need in my comics, a certain amount of, gore and disgustingness or, whatever that I don't need.
One that has about maybe one or two less Nom flashbacks.
That too, Well, I mean, I got some of the previous Punisher War Journal, which was his Nom stuff or whatever at that point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I also like seeing Punisher, in the Marvel Universe, and this is one title that looks like he may get very well used in that capacity.
Sure. Yeah. And actually, it's something that I like to see, actually, out of a lot of the books, is that even stuff like Runaways has been in continuity with the whole Civil War thing. I'm not even talking, Runaways Young Avengers. I'm talking about the Runaways book. It's been mentioned, at least in passing, that the whole registration thing's happening. Even in Eternals, it's played a part. So the fact that you can even get that working in there was a good job on Marvel's part. So it's not all bad out of the editorial department. Trust me, it's far from all bad, but they just need to be a bit tighter.
I don't think that was editorial, though. I think that was writers just playing around with it.
Yeah.
Well, they were also told in advance what was happening, which is good.
Well, I like that they extended Eternals an issue, because I really think they did need it.
Yeah.
Like, after reading number 5 and seeing all that had to happen in number 6...
Yeah.
It seemed like they did need an extra issue.
And it's the sort of extra issue that will come out on time, pretty much.
Because it's John Romita Jr.
Well,
exactly.
And I get that, and I think with this creative team, that makes sense. It's all going to be good and stuff. But I've got to wonder if, they get down to the wire and they realize, oh, wait, we need an extra issue and stuff. That makes me wonder, how well did they pace the story? How well did they plan it out? Why did this, why wasn't it originally solicited as such? It seems they could have gotten further into the storytelling process before starting the solicitation process.
Yeah.
And knowing
the first one I thought was a little slow. Like, the first 3 were a little slow paced for me. But once it got to issue 4, I was hooked.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually sort of agree with that. I like the slow pace in the first 3, but when the action starts kicking in, it's damn good stuff.
It's funny, for me, I thought the first issue or 2 worked much better than the subsequent ones.
Huh. Okay. What's your reasoning behind that?
I like the first 2 better.
John the philosopher over here.
Thank you very much. John Mayo, ladies and gentlemen.
I like how we were seeing a different take on the Eternals, how we were seeing, kind of the you've got to realize you're an Eternal kind of a thing with the characters.
Yeah.
And then it got into, okay, they're the Eternals now. Mm-hmm. It's like,
yeah. I guess. My favorite moment of 06 was the announcement that Whedon and Cassaday were coming on for one more arc of Astonishing X-Men. That may not have been the event that impacted me the most or that held my interest the longest, but I do remember that out of all the things that happened and all the announcements and all the new titles and events, that one got me the most excited the moment I heard it. Okay, I'm running extremely long, so I'll wrap this up. Titles that sucked. X-Men Civil War and most of the Decimation crap. X-Men Civil War, I'm going to agree with that. Because I felt like they were trying to shoehorn in Decimation into Civil War, and they were trying to do it all in that one title. Had they spread it out upon other things, like possibly the X books themselves, it would have made a bit more sense to me, but the story they were telling in that just felt like it was rushed, and they were even trying to build on things that writer did that people weren't even too happy about in the first place. So, like, that whole like alternate, like, smaller mutant thing, that mutant that's like makes copies of people, that didn't really hit me too much when it first came out in the Decimation stories before that. So the fact that we had that in Civil War X-Men didn't really float my boat too much.
Well, did we need a Civil War X-Men? Because when we had Civil War, was it 2 or 3?
Yeah.
They said the X-Men are going to sit this one out. So really, I didn't see any point in picking that one up. They just told me what's going to happen.
Had it been a one-shot where Bishop and Cyclops get into an argument and Bishop joins up with the guys who were trying to go pro-registration, it would have been great. The fact that they made it into a mini-series is what pissed me off.
But should Bishop really have been pro-registration?
He very well could have been.
This
honestly,
is a guy who's
with his
been
past.
branded because he's a mutant?
But look at his past, though. Look at his past. He's the type of guy who wants to avoid conflict at all times, but at the same time, he sees how this could probably benefit the mutant community. You know, the fact that they have immunity in all this, so he's thinking more.
No, they don't have immunity in all this. They're already registered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they don't even have a choice anymore, even if the registration thing goes down. Okay. They've already lost this battle.
Okay.
Now, if they could be using this to get more allies or whatever, I think that's the sort of thing Bishop might do.
Yeah.
So,
and at the same time, Bishop's a very different character than he was when he first came in. So they play him more now as like the straight cop, as opposed to the I'm from the future. No, seriously.
No, I know. I believe that because I've read probably most, if not all, of his appearances.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I also love that one issue where Claremont started getting a love relationship going with Storm and him, and then an issue later, it never happened.
Black Panther, I love you.
Well, and let's not forget the 17 or 18 issues he spent in some future times period yet again, go do stuff, and then suddenly, that'll never get referenced again. So, yeah.
And the time he spent with Lilandra's sister in space. That'll never be referenced again either.
Actually, I thought we were starting to get a little bit of that in one of the X books, he says.
Really? Huh. Okay.
Because we're seeing that character, the Deathbird or whoever again.
Deathbird, yeah. There you go. Yeah, well, we've been seeing her, but we haven't really seen her mentioned like Bishop at all. So, all right, anyway, let me wrap up Eichenheimer here. What I'm most looking for is a bunch of stuff. First of all, the Ares miniseries rocked and got me excited about him possibly joining the Mighty Avengers team. Spidey donning the black costume has got me psyched. The Iron Man and Doctor Strange animated movies have me pretty excited, but on top of everything that happened this year, to get me pumped about 2007, I'd have to go with Planet Hulk, paving the way for the upcoming World War Hulk. I mean, come on, what's not to love? You've got the words Hulk and War in the same title. Enough said, true believer. Enough said, true believers.
True bleeder.
True bleeder. Enough said, true believers. And that's Eichenheimer. He's not a bleeder. So, thank you very much there, Eichenheimer. And a lot of the stuff that you mentioned has been mentioned here, and we pretty much agree with what you said. So, I'm glad you said it, and I'm glad you agree with us. So, amen to that. So, yes, I mean, I think we're pretty much at the end here. But before we do, any final thoughts on the year 2006 and where you see things going in the future? Out of anybody here in this panel, or are we all no commenting?
I think it was all in all a good year for Marvel. They came out with some good stuff. Between Civil War, non-Civil War stuff, again, some of the Brubaker things. I think they had a number of serious misfires on a couple of titles. Obviously, amazing delays on a number of things.
Yeah.
Far from a perfect year. But, even with all those things taken into account, it was a strong year for them and a very enjoyable year for them. So hopefully we'll see the same in 2007 in terms of all the good and none of the same in terms of all the bad.
Here's hoping. That's all we can really hope for. Brendan, any final words?
Ditto.
Awesome. And here's my final words. As long as She-Hulk, as long as X-Factor, and as long as Runaways keep going in 2007, all the way through 2007, I will be a happy boy. So keep me those three going. and I'll keep coming back to Marvel. And, hopefully they'll have a few decent events here and there, but those are the 3 that I can't live without every single month. So give me more of those, and I'm happy. Thank you very much. And give Dan Slott a couple more things to do, too. Like, have him do Spider-Man, for God's sakes. Finally, have him do Spider-Man, because he'd do a great job on it. So
he's doing an Avengers book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just announced it on the last Joe Fridays. Avengers, the Initiative or something.
Is it a miniseries, or...?
I want to say it's a miniseries.
Let me take a look, actually, just to see what's going on. Slott.
It's like they're introducing new characters and training some old ones.
I gotcha. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Which kind of hints to the post-Civil War Marvel universe.
Okay. All right, so...
Civil War The Initiative is, according to the Marvel previews, written by Brian Michael Bendis and Warren Ellis, and pencil and covers by...
And Silvestri.
This is
called, I think it's called Avengers, The Initiative.
Oh, The Avengers.
Which is confusing. Yeah.
That is confusing.
It's just announced, but it hasn't been solicited yet.
Newsarama had it in this past Joe Friday. You're right, yeah.
So I'm thinking it'll spin out of Civil War, The Initiative, into that miniseries.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because they love having their initiatives and all that.
So are we going to have a Spider-Man The Initiative?
I certainly hope not. 50 States Initiative, we got that. Got a whole bunch
that's
of
what that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, actually. He might very well be telling the story about the Avengers and end up in that 50 States Initiative. So, yeah, here we go. Actually, yeah, just to get it specifically here, here we go. Yeah, we've seen an initiative in Civil War, which is part of the pro-regicide plan to have teams of superheroes in each state. And Joe Quesada then says, well, that is kind of the question, isn't it? To reveal that would give away a very interesting plot point of Civil War, so be happy you got that much out of me. So he's saying it's called Avengers The Initiative. That's all he's saying. So we don't no idea what the hell it's going to be about yet, and I'm sure we'll know soon enough, but that's what we know. Dan Slott, Avengers, all good. Give him more stuff. I'm happy. The end. Case closed. I think we're done. So, woohoo. It's done. Hopefully this came out. I hope so. If it didn't, I'll be pissed. Very pissed. But anyway, yeah, no, speaking of wonderful creators like Dan Slott, and actually Brian K. Vaughan just announced that he's going to be at a certain thing that's happening in New York soon. New York. What is it again? Jeez, I can't.
Ooh, I know.
Yes, Brent?
I know.
Do you have a
New
question?
York Comic-Con
is better, bigger, and has double the space with more gaming and anime for 2007. Come to the Jacob Javits Center February 23rd and 25th and experience the biggest pop culture event in New York City, featuring comics, anime, manga, graphic novels, video games, trading card games, RPG, MMOs, toys, movies, TV, celebrities, and more. Guest of honors include Stan Lee, Jeff Smith, J. Michael Straczynski, and George Perez, with many more to be announced. For a complete list of guests as well as show information, please visit nycomiccon.com. Buy your tickets online now to ensure your spot for the 2007 show. Tickets are available now at a discounted rate for advanced purchases at nycomiccon.com. You can also book your travel arrangements online now on the travel page of the website. Don't miss out on the 2007
New York Comic-Con.
Damn Skippy. Visit our website to get all the information you need. And if you show up, I will shake your hand and say, hello, thank you for coming to the New York Comic-Con and seeking out Comic Timing at the podcasting arena, where we all battle to the death. So amen to that. And it's looking like it's going to be one hell of a show. They just announced Stephen King for that also. So a whole bunch of folks are going to be at New York Comic-Con, and we'll ask Stephen King when the hell his book's coming out. It'll be great. So thank you very much for that. And no, I mean, it's going to be plenty of fun. But also, we got some other stuff to announce here. The fact that, well, John and I just recorded something that's going to be on Raging Bullets hopefully sometime soon, and we did a Manhunter Challenge, pretty much. We did a Manhunter Challenge comment. It's hopefully going to be airing on Raging Bullets during their year-end wrap-up. So if you want to hear more Comic Timing and more John Mayo, because you never get enough John, right, Brent?
Right.
Yeah. Right, John?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. We get plenty of John here on Comic Timing, but we'll get even more of that on Raging Bullets. So check it out on RagingBullets.com when they come out with their year-end special. And Brent, you gonna do a Manhunter review for them also, or?
Actually, I just emailed it to him today. We have a BK's Bullets Best of 2006 segment, and then a little Manhunter thing on the tail end of that. So that should be, I think it's episode 38. So not this week or next week, but the one after that.
Awesome. Now,
So
question:
it should be in the new year.
Are you going to have video games like that other BK?
What?
They just start coming out with video games like that other BK.
I've already done it, man. You're just missing it.
Ah, son of a bitch. Let me guess, they're called the Brent Casino long box video games, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
God.
It had to be said. But yeah,
No, not really.
Definitely. Oh, stop it.
Hey, I'm not the one who gave Just Bill his own comic page.
Whoa. Whoa now. Hey, there's stuff to be announced on that, but I don't know if John wants to announce that yet. You want to wait on that, sir?
I want to wait on that.
You want to wait on that? All right, I got you. Cool.
I'm letting Just Bill handle all of his own PR.
Okay, cool. But you want to handle your own PR, or you want to wait on that too?
I want to actually get something done first.
Yeah, good idea, sir. Good idea. But, yeah, no, definitely. We'll be hearing more of this guy soon because we just don't get enough John Mayo. And we might even hear more than the 0 we hear out of Just Bill soon. So, you never know. You never know. It could happen. It might not happen. But whenever it does happen, Brent will be listening.
Might not.
Might not. Wow, dude, you sound like you're losing your voice as you say that more and more. But
I didn't want to scream into the microphone.
yes, but John, where can we find your lovely musings this month?
Let's see. There was the Collected Comics Library Trade Secrets podcast that just got released through the Comic Geek Speak feed the other day and should get on Chris's feed for Collected Comics Library, where we covered the October trades. We were a little late on that due to some scheduling issues.
Yeah.
I was recently on Comic Geek Speak on episode 207 for the October comics. Mm-hmm. I've got the numbers up for November already, both on my website of comicbookpage.com and over on Comic Book Resources.
Okay.
I'm still working on the analysis stuff for my webpage, so that'll get up another couple of days, give or take, maybe a week, depending with the holidays and stuff.
Cool.
But hopefully there'll be a bit more meat to it than usual this time around. That's what I'm hoping
Awesome.
for.
Great. And you're also on Comic Timing, episode 28, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. So you can check that out.
And I think I'm going to be on Raging Bullets soon, too.
Yes, actually, surprisingly enough. And you can find that out at RagingBullets.com. Okay. You can tell it's the end of the year when we all have lost our mind like this. But anyway, I got to say this to everybody who's on the show right now and to everybody who's out there one more time. Happy holidays to everybody, and specifically to you guys. I mean, you've helped me out a lot this past year, and I want to wish you guys definitely a happy holidays and a happy new year and all that, and hope the 2007's as insane and kick-ass as 2006 was. So definitely thanks for hanging on, and thanks for sticking around, and thanks for being on Comic Timing all these times.
Hey, it's been fun. I really enjoy it. So anytime.
Right, Brent?
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, like
Even
I
the
said,
bad.
I'm willing to be on anytime.
Oh, yeah. Brent, however...
I'm the one who's been bugging him to re-record the JSA thing for the past week.
Yeah, dude, I know, and I've been sick the past couple of days.
Why wasn't I invited on that?
Because it was like 12:30 at night when we started.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't even start a regular episode. I said, hey, we should record
that's a good reason.
Yeah, it was literally like, it was 12:30. Brent like sends me a message and he's like, "Oh, so you're not doing an episode this week?" "No." "Well, we could do one." I'm like, "All right, I guess." An hour and a half later, we finish, and then it didn't even come out. It didn't even come out. We sounded like we were drunk and on drugs, and we weren't on either. So that's why it was so great. But it's lost forever. The internet's laughing at it right now, though. But. Speaking of which, though, speaking of the internet, there actually is another podcast out there for you folks to listen to. It's on the Comic Timing feed for now. Probably will be on there for at least another 5 or 6 episodes or so before I switch it back to the regular feed. But Geek Speak's back. Woohoo!
I listened to the first episode of that, by the way.
Awesome. What'd you
I
think?
liked it. Very good job.
Excellent. Glad you enjoyed it, because I'm still experimenting a little bit with the new format, but should actually hopefully get another episode of that out in the next couple of days. But the Geek Speak Report is the new Geek Speak. It's about a 30-minute episode where I talk about some geek commentary, some geek news, some YouTube videos that I play the audio to, and then I go into some geek music to end it out. And I'm really enjoying this new format, and thank you for Matthew Guy for keep bugging me about it. So finally I got off my butt and did something about it. So I thank him for that and a whole bunch of other people. And I hope that you guys are still listening to it, because I've got good numbers on the first episode so far on the Comic Timing feed. So enjoy Geek Speak Report, and I'll enjoy it too. So woot to that. But also, go to John Mayo's site at comicpage.com. Comicpages.com, right?
Comicbookpage.com.
Oh, comicbookpage.
I've been on how many times and you don't know this? No.
Dude, comicbookpage.com.
Yeah, I've got charts of all the sales stuff. At some point I may clean those up because there are a few things that are a little messy on them. But I've also got all kinds of other crap on there. So take a look, check it out, let me know what you think.
Check it out at bookpagecomic.com.
Something like that, yes. Comicbookpage.com.
You know I love
in
this.
color?
Yeah, yes, they are actually, surprisingly enough. All right, let me get this episode over with before we all die.
Save.
The email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out those forums over at cgspodcast.com/forum, graciously hosted by the Comic Geek Speak guys at comicgeekspeak.com. We are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network over at comicspodcast.com. Please dig Comic Timing if you haven't had a chance to. We are on Dig now at dig.com/podcast/comic_timing_podcast. There's a link to that actually in the forums with a whole bunch of other comic podcasts listed on there as well. So go ahead and check that out. And please send us your iTunes reviews on iTunes. That would be graciously appreciated as well. John and Brent, once again, always a pleasure. Get bastards. Now get the hell off my shelf.
Okay.
Wait for you to hang up, buddy.
No. In all seriousness, no, once again, guys, thanks for joining me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has been fun. Thanks for having me.
All right,
No problem.
Awesome. And as always, there's always time for comics. Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, and welcome to, finally, episode 27 of Comic Timing. I am joined by two men who I've been joined by many a time before now, as it seems like they seem to be sort of regulars at this point, but I am joined by... Wait, I just did episode 27 of the fucking morning. I did that again. 2 times in a row now, Brent, alright? On the episode that didn't happen, that happened, alright? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... So, Brent, you know what we're doing, so I don't really need to explain that to you too much. We're doing a giant review of Ultimate Hulk and Wolverine, so just get your things going.
You're kidding, right?
Dude, if I was being serious, that would be a 5-minute podcast.
It'd be at least 30 because we'd rant for 25.
That's true. That's true.
25 each?
Yeah,
probably.
Well, no. This is the best part, though. We would rant for 30 minutes, and then I wouldn't release it for 3 years.
Just in time for issue 3.
Yay! I got tired of saying it the first time around, but...
You should do it in voices.
New York Comic Con is bigger, better, and has double space, with more getting it animated for 2007.
Actually, I like that.
I like that, too. All in favor? Aye.
A. N. Levinstein.